In the heart of Mexico, where ancient traditions intertwine with the echoes of old stories, there exists a legend so chilling that it has been passed down through generations, haunting those who hear it. This is the legend of La Llorona, or the Weeping Woman, a ghostly figure whose cries are said to pierce the night, bringing with them the sorrow of a mother who lost everything. The story begins in a small village many centuries ago. There lived a beautiful woman named Maria, known far and wide for her breathtaking beauty. She was the envy of all the women in her village and the desire of all the men. But Maria was proud, some would even say arrogant. She believed no man was worthy of her hand, and so she waited, dreaming of a grand life far away from the dusty village streets. One day, a wealthy and handsome nobleman rode into Maria's village. He was not just any man, but a man of great power and riches, one who could offer Maria the life she had always imagined. When he saw Maria, he was instantly captivated by her beauty and charm. The nobleman courted Maria with lavish gifts and promises of a life filled with luxury and adventure. Maria, overwhelmed by his attention and the life he offered, quickly fell in love with him. They were soon married, and Maria gave birth to 2 beautiful children. At first, their life together was everything Maria had hoped for. They lived in a grand house, far above the common folk, and Maria's every wish was granted by her devoted husband. But as time passed, the nobleman's love for Maria began to wane. He started spending more time away from home, leaving Maria alone with the children. Maria's beauty, which had once been her greatest asset, was now fading as the years went by, and she began to notice the nobleman's interest in other women. As the nobleman's absences grew longer and more frequent, Maria's heart hardened with bitterness and jealousy. The love she once felt was replaced by a burning rage and a deepening despair. She watched as her once perfect life began to crumble around her. The man she had given everything for, the man she had borne children with, was slipping away from her grasp. One fateful evening, Maria's worst fears were confirmed. The nobleman returned to the village, not alone, but with a younger, more beautiful woman by his side. He declared that he would be leaving Maria to marry this new woman, abandoning Maria and their children. The nobleman left without a second glance, leaving Maria alone to grapple with the unbearable pain of betrayal. In a fit of madness, Maria's mind snapped. Her once proud spirit was shattered, and her love for her children, who reminded her of the man who had betrayed her, turned into a twisted hatred. She led her 2 young children to the river that night, their innocent faces oblivious to the dark thoughts consuming their mother. In the dead of night, under the cold light of the moon, Maria took her children's small hands and plunged them into the icy waters of the river. Her children's cries echoed in the stillness as she held them under the water until their struggling ceased and their bodies went limp. Only then did Maria realize what she had done. As the lifeless bodies of her children floated away in the current, Maria's sanity returned to her, and with it the overwhelming weight of her actions. Consumed by grief and guilt, Maria wept uncontrollably, her wails filling the night air with a sorrow so profound that it seemed to shake the very earth. She wandered the riverbank, searching for her children, calling out their names, but they were gone, taken by the river's relentless flow. Desperate and alone, Maria threw herself into the river, hoping to reunite with her children in death. But Maria's sins were too great to be forgiven. Instead of finding peace, she was condemned to roam the earth for eternity, a restless spirit cursed to search for her children in vain. From that day forward, she became La Llorona, the Weeping Woman, her ghostly figure seen by those who ventured too close to rivers or lakes at night. Her mournful cries echo through the night, a haunting reminder of her eternal sorrow. For centuries, the legend of La Llorona has been told in hushed tones across Mexico and beyond. Mothers warn their children not to stray too close to the water's edge after dark, for La Llorona might mistake them for her own lost children and take them away. It is said that anyone who hears her wails is marked for misfortune or even death. There are countless stories of those who have encountered La Llorona, each one more terrifying than the last. Some say she appears as a beautiful woman, her face hidden beneath a veil, only revealing her true, ghastly visage when it's too late to escape. Others claim that she appears as a shadowy figure, her form barely visible in the mist, but her cries unmistakable. In one tale, a man was returning home late at night, walking along a lonely road that ran parallel to a river. As he neared the water, he heard a woman's voice, soft and pleading, calling out for her children. Curious, the man approached the riverbank and saw a woman dressed in white, her long hair flowing down her back. She was weeping, her body shaking with the force of her sobs. Feeling pity for the woman, the man called out to her, asking if she needed help. The woman slowly turned to face him, and as she lifted her veil, the man's blood ran cold. Her eyes were hollow, empty voids, her face a twisted mask of pain and anger. The man turned and ran as fast as he could, her cries growing louder and more desperate with every step. He barely made it home, collapsing on his doorstep, his heart pounding in his chest. The next morning he was found dead, his face frozen in a mask of terror. The legend of La Llorona has endured for generations, becoming a central part of Mexican folklore. Her story is one of love and loss, betrayal and madness, but also one of warning. It serves as a reminder of the consequences of letting rage and despair take control, of the importance of cherishing what we have before it's too late. Even today, La Llorona's story endures, symbolizing the consequences of succumbing to dark emotions. She is a cautionary figure, warning of how easily love can turn to hate and how our choices can have lasting consequences. So, if you ever hear her mournful wails by the water, beware. It might be La Llorona forever searching, forever weeping. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more of our haunting ghost tales.